Hello everyone, welcome to another special episode of my YouTube channel. I wanted to make this vlog to give you my perspective on what went wrong with the soccer World Cup prediction model, which you might have seen on social media or somewhere else. But before I go further, I wanted to give a big shout out to all the elite players of each and every nation for making this World Cup a very exciting one. So kudos to everyone. Now, before I start talking about the main issue behind those models, let me give you a little bit of overview about how those models were built in the first place. Let me give you my experience. So, I built my soccer World Cup prediction model based on two essential parameters. The first one was FIFA ranking, and the second one was historical game results of two nations. For example, FIFA rankings was one of the very essential quantitative parameter for the model, because that ranking system designed by FIFA, and it gives you an understanding of which nation is better than others. Most of the model, like Oxford model, even my model, predicted Brazil as the winner of the World Cup, and the main reason is because Brazil was the highest ranked team as per the FIFA ranking system before the World Cup started. So it is very imperative that the model would select Brazil as the sole World Cup winner based on the quantitative metric system. Similarly, the historical game performance could be biased towards certain nation as well. Let me give you an example. Saudi Arabia versus Argentina. As we all know that was the first biggest upset of this World Cup. And nobody ever thought that Saudi Arabia would be able to beat Argentina. But it happened, right? So if I look back at the previous game performance between these two nations, you would see that Saudi Arabia was never able to beat Argentina in any competitive games. So it is easier for a model to predict Argentina as the winner of the game instead of going in the other way around. So these are some of the limitations of AI model that we need to consider. That most of the cases, the models prefer quantitative measures over certain qualitative measures. So now let's move further with the main issue of these models, why this model results did not align with reality in certain occurrences. And the main factor is this qualitative measures, which we can also consider as human factors. Because with most cases, the model failed to determine a game result based on certain human factors, like the player's grit, their resilience, biased refereeing decision. Who would have thought that Morocco, the first African nation, would progress to the semi-final? Because the model failed to consider that because Morocco wouldn't perform well against those World Cup nations in the previous occasions. So it was difficult for for any AI models, machine learning models, to determine the outcome of certain games based on those human factors or the qualitative measures. And that's also one of the reasons why AI models would always have that limitation, because they won't be able to accurately judge those human resilience, our human consciousness, or some of the, I would say, qualitative factors. Now, so that doesn't mean that we can discredit a statistician or data scientist attempt or effort to build a soccer World Cup prediction model. But that also gives me thinking that what we can do to alleviate certain issues like this. Because if we try to predict a World Cup, try to predict the World Cup winner for 2026 edition, we do the same. We would make the same mistake. We would just go with the highest ranked team as the sole World Cup winner. So in that case, my attempt would be that instead of making a static World Cup prediction model, we'll try to make a dynamic World Cup prediction model, and that model would dynamically try to predict an outcome of certain game, like from the beginning of the end of the first half. So if we transfer our model from static to dynamic, that would be one way to alleviate this issue to a certain extent. So in that case, the model can accurately predict the outcome of the result, because at least it would capture 45 minutes of the results and that will also give a model a better chance of predicting accurately. So that is one way to elevate the issue, by transforming the static World Cup prediction model into dynamic prediction. As you might have seen that Google started doing the same, because whenever you actually check some game percentage for certain soccer tournaments or even like a tennis game, it started giving a real-time percentage or probability of the winning team or the winner of that particular game. So that's one way to predict the outcome of certain game result, regardless of which tournament you're playing or regardless of the sports. But it's very difficult for any static World Cup prediction model like Oxford model, even the model I built, to predict accurately and try to match the final outcome with the reality. So I hope this would be a learning lesson for all data scientists or even statisticians over the world, that how they can make their model better, how they can consider those qualitative factors into their model instead of just relying on the quantitative measures such as FIFA ranking, historical game performance, or even ELO rankings in future. So I hope this YouTube vlog gives you a little bit of overview about what happened, with the soccer World Cup prediction model, why those models went wrong. I kind of like shared my GitHub link, the World Cup prediction work I did like a few weeks back. Feel free to check the code. Feel free to try to make it better, try to come up with a better outcome or prediction in the future. And I would definitely happy to collaborate in future as well in terms of making prediction, whether it comes to soccer World Cup or any other sporting event.